Okay. Hello, 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 and welcome to Living A Course in Miracles Friday call. Today is Friday, December 15th. My name is Jared Krebs, coming at you live from San Antonio, and I am super excited because today we're going to talk about Chapter 5, which is all about magic. And it's totally blew my mind what they talk about in this. And so I am excited about it because I want to talk to you about it and have my memory jogged on what you learned from it and share the things that I got out of it and just have a great conversation. And then if we have time, share our forgiveness lessons out there in the field in ways that we have forgiven this week. So let's have everybody say where they're calling in from. Tell me your name, what city you're in, and why you're excited about today's call.
I am Viola Krebs, and I'm from Salt Lake City, and I'm excited because this is just such a good chapter on the magic that we all use every day. Just being alive. Being alive is magic. Stuff that keeps us alive.
It's all a lot of magic.
It's a lot of magic. And so Randy might get on like while he's driving.
Okay.
Jared's dad, but otherwise he'll get here a little bit late because he's doing the commute.
Okay. Now. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for being on. Excited to have you here.
I'm excited.
Nathan.
Hey, this is Nathan Lively in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm excited to be here to forgive all of you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Hey, that's why he's excited. So that's cool. Rock and roll. All right, and our special new guest today, Christian, take it away.
Hey, my name is Christian Stanbury, and I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I'm really excited to be on this call right now because I've been watching the recordings on YouTube, and I feel like I know everybody in this group already, but now it's time for them to meet me. So that's really exciting. And yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being on. And tell me, how did you find us on YouTube?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I found Gary, and through searching for Gary Renard videos on YouTube, I found Gary and the Krebs, watched it, loved it, started watching some more. and then found like this group through, like, you have two YouTube channels, I think it is. So I kind of like found both the YouTube channels, and then yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, because yeah, Gary and the Krebs is actually supposed to be private, and I think my dad accidentally posted it public.
Okay.
It wasn't even supposed to be public, but Dad made it public, and we've gotten a lot of traction actually from that as far as people finding us.
Cool.
And the Disappearance of the Universe group is public, and that's what this one is. We've actually done, I think, 6 or 7 Gary and the Krebs calls, which are all private. But anyways, maybe we'll make them all public. Who knows? I don't think my mom would let me, but
I think Christian already knows everything.
Christian already knows all the dirt, man. He knows, the Gary and the Krebs are supposed to be private calls, but hey, whatever.
Well, even though it was a mistake, there are no accidents in salvation. So that.
Oh, bro. Well said, sir. Well said. Well, hey, you know what? It brought you to us, so there was definitely a blessing for sure. All right, so let's get right into this. We've been listening to each chapter of Ken Wapnick, and I'm telling you what, it's hard not to go forward on these. It's like, man, I listened to chapter 5, and then I want to go straight to chapter 6, and then I want to go straight to chapter 7, but I stopped myself. So I actually listened to chapter 5 3 different times, almost 3, but every time I got more things about it. And the main thing that I got from chapter 5 is that magic is neither good nor bad. And it just won't work to remove the subconscious guilt. I come from the mindset and the background of like a Christianity / Buddhist background. And in the Christianity background, you know, it's very behavior based and, you know, trying to prohibit um, certain uses of magic, quote unquote. And then Buddhism is all about letting go of the desires and all of that. And I was about to be a Buddhist monk for a time in my life. And you're refraining from magic. Basically, refraining from magic is also saying, you know, that it's bad or quote unquote whatever. But I really like what Ken Wapnick has to say about how you don't have to give up things like magic things, like depriving your body of sex or depriving your body of food or depriving your body of whatever. It's not going to actually be, it's not going to help you or hurt you. The real issue is the separation and the choice for the ego. So it's okay to have those things and to have luxuries, or it's okay not to have those. But the main thing is the inner state and the inner peace and the decision to be with the thought system of the Holy Spirit. And it just takes all the pressure off of the behavior-based psychology that I was raised around, and has given me a lot more freedom in those things. But, you know, I do all the magic stuff. I take vitamins. I take ibuprofen when I have a headache. I eat food. I breathe. He even says that breathing is magic. You know, so there was a lot here, but the main thing that I got from it that, you know, it's like, relax, man, relax. It's not such a big deal. Just do the magic, but make sure you study your Course in Miracles and whatever else, so that because it's not going to help you stop reincarnating, which is what I'm all about. So there you go. That's what I got from it. Those were my highlights. What were yours?
Yeah, that's awesome. And one thing I just want to add is that you know, you give the ego an inch and it'll take a mile, because the idea of not having to give up anything is good. But at the same time, Ken says, like, never forget to be normal or practical. Like for myself, I'll share, you know, I've struggled with alcoholism for a while. Yet 21 days clean today, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One day at a time. One day at a time.
That's it, you know. And so I find with my ego, like, give it an inch and it'll take a mile. And so I almost used that as an excuse. So yeah, like, you don't have to give anything up. Matter doesn't matter. Behavior doesn't matter. This is a course in content, cause, not effect. So yeah, that's one thing I just wanted to add. Yeah, magic isn't good or bad. Breathing is magic. Just coming here is magic, because magic is fixing a problem where it is not. So
Yes.
yeah. And the world or the universe is a maladaptive solution to a non-existent problem.
Woo!
You know? So we've decided to rid of our guilt, our unconscious guilt, by projecting it out there. So that's magic in itself too. But yeah, as we all know, nothing really happened. So
That's right. Fortunately, we just think it did.
yeah.
Really, we do. Awesome. Thank you, Christian. I have a question for you. How was the downloading process for this audio? Were you able to get it easily?
Yes, I've had it for a while. And if you want to download it on an Apple iPhone or iPad, you can just use for Audible, because the Audible app doesn't let you download anything. But if you go into the Safari or the browser, then you will be able to download your Audible books through there.
Okay. So that's what you did, and then it went onto the app from there. Thank you for that tip. You know, I didn't ever occur to me to just get on Safari on my phone to do it. I had to go on my computer to download it at the beginning. So that's a great tip.
Yeah.
All right, Mom or Nathan, who's next?
I'll go next because I'm going to have to probably cut out a little early when when my guest arrives. But I'm like you, Jared, with this chapter. It kind of, when I first did the course, I was really troubled because I was like, I take vitamins, and I didn't know this chapter yet. So I was like always thinking, well, my acupuncture, my chiropractor, all this is magic, and I felt kind of like, well, why do we do all this? So I was confused. But this chapter really took a burden off, the guilt off of taking a vitamin, of taking something if you have a headache, or something that's going to help you. I mean, it's like Christian said, it could, give you extremes, but that's where you pray to the Holy Spirit, ask the Holy Spirit to guide you as to taking this, medication or whatever it is that we do, chemotherapy in my case right now. And it's just magic. And another thing that it didn't really say this in the chapter, but a lot of people have me like on prayer lists, and it's kind of like a list. And after doing the course, I'm thinking, well, that's kind of like you're asking for, like it's your list of things you want for your ego. But it could be in a form of magic also, because prayers work. And so that's just kind of really helped me be able to live a little bit more easier with the thought system of even the word magic, even like oxygen that we breathe is magic. So whatever it takes for our bodies to stay alive. And that's like everything on this planet, on this earth.
Yeah, he says magic is inherent in this world.
Yeah.
And you remember he says, like, the magic is trying to basically, or we're using magic to try and make this world like better or more tolerable. And because we don't want to let go of our ego bodies and our egoic self and our sense of self. And so if we can just make this world palatable enough, we can just stay here.
Right. That's so silly, isn't it?
I'm over it, man. Like, I'm over it. And I have a pretty good ego body thing going right now, and I'm happy and grateful for those things. And let's keep forgiving, man. Let's keep forgiving. Let's keep
that's the main thing, forgiving. But
because even as good as it can get, man, as much money is in your bank account, as much health as you have, I'm grateful for it all. But like, let's keep forgiving. Let's go.
Go get rid of your health insurance and your car insurance.
Yeah, don't do that. Oh, that's called level confusion. Remember?
Yeah.
Level confusion, because now I'm a Course in Miracles student, so I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, and that's not the right way to do it. We got to take care of stuff at the top level here in this life. We got to work out. We got to eat right. We got to do the best we can. We actually have to use all the magic we can. We don't have to, but may as well while we're here.
Yeah, Ken Wapnick puts it all like in perspective. I think everyone seriously should do this. What is it? Living A Course in Miracles before doing the course. I mean, I wish I would have, because I was confused so much of the time, but that was my journey, is that I'm doing it 2 years later, but it's still good. Dude, I didn't quit.
Can I share something here before Nathan goes?
Yeah.
These.
Oh yeah, got mine right here too.
Bro, no way.
Oh yeah. I just got it too, actually, and I just got the workbook too. I see you have them all. Those are really awesome too, for sure.
So I already been telling my mom about this. Yes. Oh, Christian, mad props, bro. Mad props.
Cheers.
So you read a chapter. I read chapter 17, then I read a chapter on the chapter, and it takes my learning to like the next level. And so I probably will end up spending the rest of the year just to read the rest of the workbook because I'm halfway through, because I have to take basically 3 weeks after each chapter to read all this. I read 2 pages a day. I don't care if it's slow. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to read these mofos and I'm going to put it in my brain.
Does it
So
really make
Good.
that much difference?
Like I'm a Nintendo cartridge. I'm going to put this stuff in my brain.
Good. What was your question there, Viola?
Is that, well, is like that magic? Would that be considered magic?
The books?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. That's a good question. Reading is magic. Like the course is just a book. Just like these are just books, but
I guess it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I'd say it's all about the application. I guess what we were saying just before the call went on, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
the ego doesn't care how much you study the course as long as you don't apply it. You know. So yeah, that if we can use what we're reading to the best of our ability, then
So
I would say that's not magic. You know.
It makes a big difference.
Oh, 100%, Mom. Like, I mean, combine that with Ken Wapnick stuff you're listening to.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I'm just so excited about it. Like I read 2 pages a day and I underline stuff like my life depends on it. And I'm just so into it. I'm just excited about it, you know?
I need to get that.
This one here is for the workbook lessons. So look at this huge ass thing. I haven't even opened it. I probably won't even get to it
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it does say on there too that he recommends not to really like read the journey until you actually finish the workbook once already. So do the workbook.
Really?
Yeah, he does say do the workbook before going through the journey through the workbook with it. But of course, like it can't help either way. But he does say like
Interesting.
somewhere here that he just kind of recommended. Let's see this. I would urge students, however, if they are doing the workbook for the first time, to read the lessons as they are without my commentary. In other words, as with all my other work on A Course in Miracles, this book is meant to supplement a student's experience of the workbook, not to substitute for the workbook as it was given to us. So actually, maybe you can do it with it, but just make sure that you're reading out of the course itself.
Yeah. Well, in my personal, thank you for saying that, because that's good for the people who end up watching this video later. I personally actually have done the workbook all the way through. Took me 2 years actually to do what, is for 1 year.
Excellent.
23 months. But so I guess I'm ready to rock with this stuff. I haven't even taken out of the plastic because I still got the whole freaking text to finish. So by the time I open this thing, it might be all dusty and covered in dust. But I keep it like I keep it right, like this is my little station right here. Is my Course in Miracles station. So I basically just sit there in the mornings and do my 2 pages. It takes about a half hour, and it's my happy time, because I'm real busy with my business and stuff. So it's like if I don't get it done early, I'm not going to get it done.
Have you noticed an improvement in your professional life ever since being involved with the course as well?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I forgive stuff more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. And I get less serious.
Yeah, less fear. Less fear tends to help. Even though like that's not the goal of it, but I have found too much more success in life when being more involved with the course too.
100%.
Okay, I gotta take off for a minute.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
See ya.
Nathan Lively, take it away, bro. Hey.
Hey.
I'm eating a chip.
Okay.
I've listened to this chapter twice, and I wrote down one thing. And that one thing is that you should practice this course because it will make you feel better.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just let that sink
and I don't know.
in.
That meant a lot to me when I read it. A lot of times I think, really see any benefits. I'm not like tracking my personal development or happiness for the last decade. So like the time when I talked, and he was like, "Oh, what sort of results have you seen in your life?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not like tracking this. I'm not like Angela and like hearing words and stuff."
You don't have the Course in Miracles happiness. You don't have the Course in Miracles happiness tracker. Just kidding.
So,
Bro, it's only $10 in the App Store.
but I know that overall there's exactly. I know that overall an improvement, and I have growth, but
You're breaking up, bro.
it's good
You're
for me
breaking
to
up.
remember that you're breaking up. How about now? Oh, you know what? I'll switch to a different network. Hold on.
Okay. I just want to hear you, bro.
All right. Is that better?
Yes.
All right, cool. I was just saying that I think it's good for me to remember that I'm not just doing this just so that I can remove the blocks to awareness of love's presence and go home and be enlightened and that kind of stuff, but also just so I can be happier today.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even Ken says that, yeah, the goal of this course is peace. Yeah. Just so that's a good attitude probably to have about it, you know.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. And thank you for your consistency, man. You're on these calls like clockwork. And I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
well, it's just a coincidence, you know. If you would have caught me 2 years ago, I would have never been able to make it on a Friday evening or probably any evening.
Well, glad that wasn't 2 years ago that we started this.
Exactly.
Awesome, brother. Well, yeah, you've been the most consistent. You've been more consistent than I have lately, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then you get roasted.
I get roasted, man. I know it. I'm not there.
Oh, so happy birthday now that I can tell you in person.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so you know what? Let's get right into the speed round. No, just kidding. Where we talk about forgiveness in the field. And you know what? If we end the call early, we end the call early. That's fine too. But let's talk about things that you forgave in your life. So I'll start. So my wedding anniversary was yesterday. Me and Crystal celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
Holy shit, that video that you posted has got like 1 million views.
Thanks, bruh. So that video, actually, all those live videos I've been posting has to do with my business strategy. And there was a few things to forgive there at Sushi Zushi, by the way. I'll have you know. So I'm going to share 2 things, and then I want to hear from you. The first one is I got a speeding ticket yesterday on my anniversary. And I was driving like mad to the chiropractor so I could be on time because the receptionist gives me a hard time. She just always gives me a hard time, even if I'm like a minute late or 2 minutes late. And she just gives me a hard time. And I forgive her. And we have a little thing that's kind of funny. Like we always give each other a hard time, but I was really trying to be on time, okay? Pretty much for her. And freaking, I am like flying down the freeway and this cop is like non-marked and he comes and pulls me over. And by the way, I'm listening to Ken Wapnick about magic during that time too. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
Right. and I'm like, and honestly, like, even though I was like speeding and I was rushing to even get out of the house and to shower and all the things that, you know, like trying to get out of the house, I was rushing and rushing and rushing, but I was in a peaceful state. And I was just peaceful. and I was just moving fast, but I was peaceful, and I was driving fast and I was peaceful, and I got pulled over and I was peaceful, and it was a $200 ticket and I was peaceful, and I drove to the chiropractor and I was peaceful, and I was late and Bianca got mad at me and I was peaceful, and I just was peaceful. And I had like kind of like ups and downs on that day. But I guess it's like the ticket and the disappointment of the ticket almost didn't faze me. Like it didn't take away my peace, because Ken Wapnick had me in that mindset of just, you know, if you get angry, that takes away your peace and you're giving away your power. And you're saying that that's the problem, when the true problem is our decision to separate, and our decision to think with the ego, or to believe the ego. And so it's like all that happened, and I was okay. I was truly okay. So that was the first one that I wanted to share. Second one was actually at our anniversary dinner before we made the live video. And so we get into Sushi Zushi, and guess what? We are rushing again. So the reason we were rushing is because I had a business deal, and I got home 30 minutes late. And so we're rushing to the restaurant because we wanted to order on happy hour sake. We like to take sake shots. And if you get to Sushi Zushi before 7 o'clock, sake's half price. So we get in there, and it's like 6:58. And we're like, we want to order 4 sakes. And they wouldn't let us because they're like, this is our policy and blah, 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 blah. And we just started out our dinner with a really bad energy because we felt like the Sushi Zushi management was not our friend. And of all the places we could have chosen, we chose them to spend our money and our time for our anniversary. And we just felt bad about it. And I couldn't shake it. Like I couldn't be peaceful. I guess I couldn't forgive her in that moment. I was like pissed off, you know, that they weren't like accommodating us in the fact that we go to Sushi Zushi a lot. And I could give you every reason that I have that makes me right. And so I actually did something about it. I asked the waitress or the manager to come over to our table. And I just told her how I felt. I'm like, I feel like, you know, like I understand you have some policies to follow, and that, you know, you need to manage, and it's a bigger picture than just us. But at the same time, it's like we chose you for our anniversary. We just don't feel good about this visit. And so I was just honest with her, right? Like almost like I used magic in a way, you know, but she said, I totally understand. And she's like, even though we can't give you sake on a happy hour price and blah, 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 I'm going to give you a free sake, which is like, you know, a little carafe of sake. And that gesture kind of like made me and Crystal feel like, okay, they are on our side. And we were able to kind of like move on and continue with our dinner without feeling anger or whatnot. So in a way, it's like I did something about it. I didn't just try and forgive her because it's the right thing to do. I actually, quote unquote, used magic to try and address the situation, right? And it got addressed in a good way. So would I have forgiven her if she was really rude to me? Of course I would have. But the fact that I didn't have to actually do that because she was nice after I shared with her my feelings was still like, it was a good strategy. So there you have it. That's what happened on my anniversary day with Crystal. And there were more things to forgive this week, I'm sure. I can't think of them right now, but those are my 2 top ones I can remember. So there you have it. Who wants to go next?
Wow, Jared, what a day. That was amazing.
Thank you,
well,
man.
I want to go ahead because you were sharing his reminded me of a couple things I wanted to share that were similar about kind of using magic, but then also being aware, I think, of what was happening. So I had gotten into a couple fights with my wife like a couple weeks ago, like a week and a half ago. And I think part of the level confusion that I have started to become aware of is that when I have some sort of an upset with someone, especially someone that I have like a special love relationship with in my life, like my wife, sometimes forgiving it is like a level thing where, you know, I'm removing the unconscious guilt, I'm sharing it with the Holy Spirit, that kind of stuff. But then that doesn't mean that I just can like ignore that thing in my life. So I forgave the thing that was happening, but then I also took a step to take responsibility for, you know, this experience that I'm having of being in a body. And I went to see this therapist slash spiritual advisor that someone had referred me to a few months ago, and I had never like picked up the referral, and I finally did, and I went to meet the guy yesterday, and it was great.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the other thing I want to share with you guys is that this week has been higher anxiety for me than normal because it's the biannual period where I sell the course that's kind of the backbone of my business. And for some reason, I don't know what's happening this time, but for some reason, it's just not selling this time. And I could kind of see it happening, and I can still see it happening, but it's like the hardest thing for me to shake because I have all this fear and anxiety now that I'm going to lose my business. And that's not 100% true, but that's like the first fear that comes, you know, and like, because I haven't really ever thought about like what's a backup plan beyond this if this thing doesn't sell. And so when like I went through the first 2 days of the launch period and there were no sales, I was like, holy shit, this is the end of my business. And I don't know what's going to happen, but everything's going wrong. And it's funny because I could like see it happening, and I was forgiving it, but at the same time, like the anxiety would just like, it was always around the sort of the corners of my mind. You know, if I stopped whatever I was doing for a few minutes and was just like daydreaming, it would all come like flooding back, you know? So, you know, then I tried to turn that into some action, and I just started making a lot of calls yesterday to see if I could turn things around, and nothing has really happened, but again, like using magic to try and deal with the situation. But at the same time, I know like I'm not going to let this take a hold of me and make it any more real than it already is, you know, because I could tell that's what was going to happen from the beginning. I was like, this is going to be a challenging week that is going to really test me to make it real. I know like every minute's going to be like, it's real, it's painful. And I'm going to be like, no, it's not.
And the reality is nothing can shake your peace. Nothing can take away the peace of God, especially what you've cultivated with your study. And I'm just speaking that from my own, you know, business situation as well, because I'm also in that scenario where you have to make things happen to pay your bills and grow your business. So I know exactly what you're talking about, but I just want to acknowledge you. Thank you for your transparency, and congratulations on how you've handled it.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Christian,
Yeah.
what's going on in the field, bro?
All right. So there's two I want to share. The first one definitely is forgiveness, or like a miracle. I have a friend that I've been friends with for about 12 years. And you know, sometimes there's a bit of tension in our relationship, and I was feeling like holding on to that tension and kind of like the unforgiveness. And I was reading one of Ken's books, The Journey Home, and this is what I read. Whoever is saner at the time the threat is perceived should remember how deep is his indebtedness to the other and how much gratitude is due him, and be glad that he can pay his debt by bringing happiness to both. Let him remember this and say, and so this is actually like from A Course in Miracles. I desire this holy instant for myself, that I may share it with my brother, whom I love. It is not possible that I can have it without him, or he without me. Yet it is wholly possible for us to share it now. And so I choose this instant as the one to offer to the Holy Spirit, that his blessing may descend on us and keep us both in peace. So I read that just as I did right now and let it sink in. And then I let the whole thing go. And our conversation that night was reflective of that decision, because there was no tension. We forgot about all of the other stuff, and it was really nice. So I trusted the Holy Spirit. So forgiveness, you can't do it alone. You have to do it with the Holy Spirit. And so developing a relationship with the Holy Spirit is so important, which I'm still a baby at. But my friend who first introduced me to the Course, he's in his 60s, and he constantly has been stressing that to me over the years, is develop that relationship with the Holy Spirit. So practicing forgiveness, we have our thought processes from Gary's books and stuff like that. Yes, great. Let's do it. Let's keep doing it. Absolutely. But part of forgiveness, which to me, forgiveness is actually kind of like the whole Holy Spirit thought system. Like, it's like the entire sort of like thought system. So a part of that is sort of like resting with him. So I think resting and communing with God, that meditation that you talked about, I remember that Gary showed us, that's really important. And that might actually help too, Nathan, with the selling thing too.
Sure.
Giving it up, putting it on the altar, and
And I could feel that at the end of today. It was really like, it's time for me to stop gripping this so hard.
Right on. Yeah, and I have the same thing too. Like, so my second forgiveness in the field would be like, I'm a poker player. I've been playing poker for about 5 years, and I did really well a couple weeks ago, and then last week wasn't so hot, and so I was kind of like throwing money away, and I could watch myself, this physical self, sort of like just keep doing it, like kind of like almost on purpose, like just kind of like throwing the money away out of anger because I'm not satisfied out of what I won. Or like every day I would win a little bit, but then I would feel like, oh, that wasn't enough, and then somehow just start throwing all of it away. So I was really mad one day, and I just started typing out of anger a very angry message, but I was letting myself do it too. I was observing myself do it, sort of like not trying to stop it, but observing myself do it at the same time, sort of like letting go and praying to Jesus at the same time. And then it was right before bed, and I just said, like, Holy Spirit, like, tell me what this is all about or whatever. So the next morning I woke up, and there's a group on Facebook called Journey Through ACI. I'm with Ken and Gary, and it has pictures and stuff, and this is the picture that came up, and it has a little so this is me, or my ego, throwing money in the garbage, and it says we cherish our guilt and want bad things to happen to us, although we swear we do not. We complain about the miserable deck of cards God or fate has dealt us, our miserable lot in life, but secretly we want this.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that is why we keep replaying the theme with such ego delight. So there's a part of me that wanted that, and so how did I forgive it? I decided, I don't want to give up poker, and I don't have to, but if I'm going to approach it, I have to approach it properly, and with the fundamental sort of like approach it, professionally, and I know how to do that. So why not just do that instead of suffering on purpose and blaming someone or something outside of me for that,
100%. Matt, can you add us all to that group, please?
Yeah, I think I can, and if not, I'll send the link to all y'all. Yeah.
Yes. I want to see those things. I
I've
felt
been noticing a lot of sorry to interrupt. I've been noticing a lot of synchronicity with these pictures with me. Somehow, some way, it's just
yeah.
yeah.
I felt the same way when I got that speeding ticket. Like somewhere deep down inside, I wanted to hurt myself and like create like more financial stress, quote unquote. And I did it, but I can choose better. I can choose better. Right, Mom? I can choose better. And so I think it's definitely absolutely the truth that the ego loves to punish itself, and we can choose better. Thank you,
Hi,
Christian.
Randy. You're welcome.
Okay, Mom and Dad, what did you forgive out in the field to end our call?
Oh,
Forgive in the field.
did you? Yeah, did you have any field?
Boy, nothing that jumps out at me right away from it. I guess.
Oh, I have one. Did you don't have one? Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean to
go ahead.
interrupt you.
One may come.
So this is something out in the field. I called to make an appointment with my chiropractor to get a acupuncture done, and the receptionist, her name's Mary Jo, and I know her because I talk to her all the time, and so I haven't been to their office in months. So I told her that I had been diagnosed with cancer and I wanted an acupuncture, and she just listened to me, and then she just said, okay, well, and so she didn't acknowledge the fact that I had cancer. So it was just an awareness that I had of myself that I wanted to feel special. And she didn't say anything. She just said, are you available next week or whatever? And she just stuck to her, her duties. And then we said goodbye. And afterwards I thought, wow, that was, first of all, it was like I judged her for being insensitive. And then I'm like, no, that was me wanting to feel special. And so it was just an awareness.
That's a big win for you.
Yeah.
That's special. That's a special win.
She gave me a big gift.
Wow, though. Thank you for sharing, Mom. We all want to feel validated. We all want to feel special and important because that's what our ego wants. And man, you just nailed it on the head right there.
I think that's probably one of my bigger ones.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Dad, anything?
No, nothing that really jumps out at me. I guess this week's been we call fairly smooth. So
Nothing to forgive. Hey, man, nothing wrong with a week like that.
no, there's always my ex-son-in-law, but that's just an ongoing. I'm not even going to say battle. It's just ongoing.
It's an ego.
So how has the forgiveness been going towards him?
Probably hasn't.
Okay.
So, I mean, okay, I guess for instance, Wednesday is the exchange day, and when I went to pick up the grandson from his dad, the grandson comes out with 2 candies in his hand. It's 8:30 at night. You don't give a 2-year-old candy for at night, and so I just grabbed the candy from him and just made some excuse that I was going to give him an ice cream sandwich and threw the candy. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I guess I'm not even into the mode of trying to forgive. It is what it is. I don't hate him as much as I probably should, but I think time will take care of that. It's more of how our daughter or how your sister reacts with it. So
That's huge. That's big time challenges right there.
yeah, I just dropped off the grandson for the weekend, and it was no words exchanged or anything like that.
You just forgive it.
All our communication is via email.
Man, You got a nice opportunity there.
Well, I do. I do.
Awesome.
Oh,
But yeah, of course, when you're ready, yeah.
Yeah. Jared,
It's
you
cool.
see this?
Yeah.
You see the
Yeah.
shirt?
Hmm.
Jared, do you see the shirt?
Utah.
It's nice.
I picked Blake up this morning and out of the car, and the first thing he says, "Are we going bowling?"
Because this shirt's in the calendar.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's a 2-year-old. I know it. But that's how weird. Not weird. That's how genius he is. And then he comes in. He goes, "Papa, that's your bowling shirt." And he remembered. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He really picks up on details, like
He's
unbelievable.
yeah. But that's just the grandson we love.
Wow.
He is amazing. He is amazing.
See, the calendar is important.
The calendar, yes. Have you started the pictures, man?
No. Hey, can y'all help me get some pictures of Pamela and Melissa's kids, please?
Yes. I already put that bug in Melissa's ear for sure.
Well,
Oh, Catherine Lord.
thank you for sharing your. Oh, hi, Catherine Lord. Welcome to the end of the webinar. Oh, shoot.
Let me get her off mute.
I'm unmuted, it says now. I see it.
Hi, Catherine. Good to hear your voice.
Hi, thank you. Nice to hear your voice too. Sorry I missed it, but I'm here at the
All
end.
good. You're making a big splash here at the very end. So to finish our webinar tonight, Catherine, what have you? Oh, there you are. Good to see
Here I
you.
am.
Hey.
So tell everybody where you're calling in from, and what have you learned so far from your studies of A Course in Miracles?
Well, okay, I'm calling from Longview, Washington, which is just north of Portland, Oregon. And what have I learned from my studies in the Course in Miracles? Not a whole lot yet, but I didn't get a chance to listen this week. So I am going to, though, and I have been obsessed with something else. I get that way, but I want to get obsessed with this because I've been listening to your replays on this site, which I actually just found the link to, thank God. But next week I will try to be here more on time. I ended up at work late today because there's someone that I work with, and he's homeless and he's in a wheelchair and it's freezing here, and my heart just goes out to him, and there's not much I can do for him. So he's going to be out there tonight freezing.
Oh.
And yeah, I know, but that's my job and that's what I deal with, and it's not an easy job. But anyway, that's why I need A Course in Miracles.
Good point. Great point. And Catherine, I just want to acknowledge you for being on, even though it's at the end, because this is just the beginning of your journey with A Course in Miracles. And so valuable, especially with you, like you said, your line of work. We're all here in different backgrounds and everything, but we all have these ample opportunities to forgive. And the more that we learn this thought system, the easier our life is going to be. And so I just want to acknowledge you for being on, for being in the work, and I look forward to chatting with you more about it all.
I look forward to being on time.
Right? Yeah, I know it's harder out there on the Pacific time zone. I mean, it's like 5:50 over there right now, so it's a lot harder to get off of work and be on this call. But I know that you'll be on next time. So next Friday, we'll see you.
I'll be here.
All right. Well, this concludes our Course in Miracles call. Next week is December 22nd. And yes, we will be here. And we will be listening to Chapter 6 this week. Chapter 6 is 40 minutes long, which I'm glad, because Chapter 5 was only 30 minutes and it was just too short. So I'm excited for Chapter 6, and I'll probably listen to it several times. I don't even know what it's about. Does anyone know what it's about?
No.
Okay. Well, Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be good because it's building off of the magic topic in chapter 5. But let's go ahead and end our call with the way we always do it, which is to unmute the lines. Oh, I guess all the lines are unmuted. You can unmute yourself if you're not muted, Nathan. Everyone say good night and God bless.
Good night.
Good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless.
Looking forward to next week.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.